August 14, 2021. At exactly 3:11 a.m., the electronic lock on room 308 registered an entry. The system log showed a valid keycard swipe. The door unlocked. Then locked again 12 seconds later. But there was a problem. Room 308 had been sealed for nearly 3 years. No guests. No housekeeping. No maintenance. The door itself had been fitted with an internal deadbolt and marked inactive in the hotel's reservation system. Yet the keycard log recorded an entry. The hotel was the Ridgeway Grand, a mid-sized business hotel located just outside downtown Denver. 12 floors. 218 rooms. Built in 1997. Like most modern hotels, every room used electronic keycards. Each swipe was automatically logged by the security server. Time. Card ID. Door access. The system was precise. If a door opened, the record existed. Room 308 had once been a standard guest room on the 3rd floor. But after an incident in 2018, the hotel quietly removed it from service. The official explanation was plumbing damage. Water leakage from the bathroom had affected the walls. Repairs were deemed too expensive. The door remained locked. Guests were assigned to neighboring rooms instead. For nearly 3 years, the room stayed untouched. Until the morning of August 14. At 6:45 a.m., the front desk manager noticed the entry log. It appeared during the routine overnight audit. Room 308. 3:11 a.m. Keycard access. No guest assigned. No maintenance scheduled. The manager assumed it was a system error. Electronic locks sometimes misread signals. The record was flagged but ignored. The following night, it happened again. August 15, 3:11 a.m. Room 308. Keycard entry. Unlocked. Locked again after a few seconds. This time the manager checked the security system directly. The card ID registered as temporary staff access. But no employee had been issued that card. The night shift staff consisted of 2 people. Front desk clerk. Security guard. Both confirmed they had remained in the lobby. Security cameras supported their statements. No one entered the 3rd floor corridor. The hallway outside room 308 remained empty. Yet the lock system insisted the door had opened. On August 16, the hotel's general manager was notified. He reviewed the logs personally. 3 nights. Same time. Same room. Same unknown keycard. 3:11 a.m. The manager contacted the company that maintained the electronic lock system. Their technician accessed the server remotely. The conclusion was simple. The lock was functioning correctly. There was no glitch. No corrupted data. If the log showed an entry, the door had unlocked. On August 17, hotel management decided to verify the situation physically. At 2:45 a.m., the night security guard rode the elevator to the 3rd floor. The hallway lights were dim. Carpeted corridor stretching from elevator lobby to the far stairwell. Room numbers spaced evenly along both sides. Room 308 sat halfway down the hall. The door looked exactly as it had for years. Closed. Inactive. No sound. No movement. The guard stood 10 feet away and waited. His radio remained silent. At 3:10 a.m., nothing happened. At 3:11 a.m., the lock clicked. A soft mechanical sound. The guard later described it as unmistakable. The same sound every electronic hotel door makes when a keycard unlocks it. The handle moved slightly. The door opened, just 2 inches. Then slowly closed again. The hallway security camera captured the moment. No person appeared. No hand touched the handle. The door simply moved. The guard did not approach immediately. He watched the door for nearly 20 seconds. Nothing else happened. At 3:12 a.m., he walked forward and tried the handle. It was locked again. Exactly as the system log had recorded. That morning, the footage was reviewed by management. Frame by frame. The video confirmed what the guard reported. At 3:11 a.m., room 308 unlocked. The door opened. No one stood in the hallway. No one exited the room. And no one entered. From that moment on, the Ridgeway Grand's management stopped treating the situation as a technical issue. Because someone, or something, was using a keycard that did not exist. And the room behind that door had not been opened since 2018. But what the staff discovered about the original incident in room 308 would make the nightly unlock far more disturbing. August 18, 2021. By the time management arrived that morning, the footage had already been copied from the security server. Room 308 had unlocked again. 3:11 a.m. Exactly the same pattern. The general manager requested the building's full maintenance history. What he found traced back to an incident that had never been publicly discussed. April 2, 2018. Room 308 had been occupied by a guest named Daniel Carter. He checked in alone. 3 nights. Standard business reservation. Nothing unusual appeared in the records. But on the morning of April 5, housekeeping reported that Daniel Carter had not checked out. Front desk attempted to contact the room. No response. At 11:40 a.m., hotel staff entered room 308 using a master keycard. The guest had been found inside. Unresponsive. Authorities later ruled the death natural causes. But the circumstances created a problem for the hotel. The room required extensive cleaning. Carpet replacement. Wall repairs. Insurance paperwork. The hotel closed the room temporarily. But the renovation was never completed. For months the door remained unused. Eventually the management simply removed the room from the reservation system. Room 308 stayed locked. No guests assigned. No cleaning staff entered. Over time, the hallway simply skipped that number. Guests rarely noticed. But now, 3 years later, the electronic lock insisted someone was still entering the room. August 19, hotel management contacted the electronic lock manufacturer again. This time the technicians requested deeper access to the system logs. Every keycard ever issued to the building carried a unique digital identifier. When the logs were examined closely, the unknown card used on room 308 produced a strange result. The card ID was blank. Not corrupted. Not hidden. Simply empty. No employee card. No guest card. No master key. Just a successful unlock command. The technician insisted the result should be impossible. Electronic locks cannot respond to cards that do not exist. Yet the logs repeated the same entry every night. 3:11 a.m. Room 308. Access granted. On August 20, management decided to monitor the hallway in person again. 2 employees waited near the elevator lobby. The night security guard stood halfway down the corridor. All cameras were active. The hallway lights dimmed to their normal overnight setting. The corridor remained silent. At 3:10 a.m., nothing happened. At 3:11 a.m., the electronic lock clicked. Again. The sound was clearly audible. The handle turned slightly. And the door moved. Just as it had before. But this time, something else appeared on the camera. A shadow. For less than a second. It crossed the door frame from inside the room. Then vanished. The footage was reviewed repeatedly. Frame by frame. The shape was indistinct. Not clearly human. But it originated from inside room 308. Management made the decision they had avoided for 3 years. They would open the room. At 9:30 that morning, the general manager, the head of maintenance, and the security supervisor stood outside room 308. The hallway smelled faintly of cleaning chemicals. The door had not been touched since 2018. Dust had gathered around the hinges. The manager inserted the master keycard. The lock beeped once. Green light. The door opened slowly. The air inside the room felt stale. As if the space had been sealed for a long time. Furniture remained exactly where it had been left. Bed frame. Nightstand. Television mounted on the wall. But something immediately caught their attention. The bathroom door stood slightly open. Inside, the mirror above the sink showed a single streak across the dust. A line. As if someone had run a finger through it recently. Maintenance staff inspected the room thoroughly. No sign of forced entry. No broken windows. The door deadbolt had been engaged from inside. That meant the room had been locked internally. Yet the electronic lock still recorded entries. That night, August 21st, the hotel installed a second camera directly across from room 308. A closer view of the door. The hallway camera remained active as well. Both feeds were monitored from the security office. At 3:11 a.m., both cameras recorded the moment. The lock clicked. The door opened. But this time, the door opened wider than before. Almost 6 inches. From the darkness inside the room, a sound emerged. Soft. Barely audible. Footsteps. Slow. Crossing the carpet. Moving toward the door. The hallway outside remained empty. The camera recorded nothing entering or exiting. But the sound continued. Until the door slowly closed again. At 3:12 a.m., the electronic lock engaged once more. The hallway fell silent. The staff monitoring the cameras remained motionless. Because the audio feed had captured something else. Breathing. Close to the microphone. But the microphone was mounted on the hallway wall. Outside the room. Meaning the sound came from the corridor. Yet no one appeared on camera. That was the moment the hotel contacted outside investigators. Because the system logs were clear. The footage was clear. And the door to room 308 was still unlocking every night. What the investigators discovered during the next overnight test would be the last time anyone attempted to monitor the room directly. August 23, 2021. 2 private security investigators arrived at the Ridgeway Grand shortly before midnight. Their goal was simple. Remain inside the 3rd floor corridor and document the event in real time. The hotel provided full access to the security system. 3 cameras covered the hallway. 1 positioned near the elevator lobby. 1 halfway down the corridor. And 1 mounted directly across from room 308. All feeds were connected to a portable monitor inside the security office. At 2:40 a.m., the investigators rode the elevator to the 3rd floor. The hallway lights were dim. The carpet muffled their footsteps as they walked slowly toward room 308. They stopped about 15 feet from the door. Both men carried small body cameras. Audio recorders were clipped to their jackets. The corridor remained completely silent. At 3:10 a.m., nothing happened. The investigators later described the atmosphere as unusually still. No ventilation noise. No elevator movement. No distant sounds from other floors. Just the quiet hum of hallway lighting. Then the clock changed. 3:11 a.m. The electronic lock clicked. A short mechanical sound echoed through the corridor. Both investigators turned their attention to the door. The handle moved. The door opened slowly. Wider than any previous recording. Nearly 8 inches. The interior of room 308 remained completely dark. One of the investigators stepped closer. His camera pointed directly toward the doorway. The hallway cameras captured the moment clearly. The second investigator stayed near the wall, watching the corridor. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then the first investigator stopped moving. He later described hearing something inside the room. Footsteps. Soft. Moving across the carpet. Coming closer. But the hallway camera showed nothing inside the doorway. No silhouette. No shadow crossing the light. Just darkness. The investigator raised his flashlight and aimed it inside. The beam swept across the bed. Across the desk. Across the bathroom door. Everything appeared undisturbed. Then, the door moved again. Not opening. Closing. Slowly. Until it stopped just before touching the frame. At that moment, the second investigator reported hearing breathing. Behind him. He turned quickly. The hallway was empty. Both cameras confirmed it. The breathing continued for 2 seconds. Then stopped. At 3:12 a.m., the electronic lock clicked again. The door closed completely. The investigators approached the door together. The first investigator reached for the handle. But before he touched it, every camera feed in the building froze. Not just the hallway cameras. All surveillance cameras. Lobby. Elevators. Parking lot. 36 cameras. All paused at the same frame. For exactly 11 seconds. The portable monitor inside the security office recorded the system interruption. But power never failed. Lights remained on. Elevators continued operating. Only the recording system stopped. When the feeds returned, the hallway appeared normal again. Both investigators still stood outside room 308. But something had changed. The first investigator's flashlight now lay on the carpet behind him. Neither man reported dropping it. The camera footage before the interruption showed the flashlight still in his hand. After the interruption, it was on the floor. 3 feet away. No movement had been recorded. No frame showed it falling. The footage simply skipped from one moment to the next. Later that morning, the investigators reviewed the hallway recording frame by frame. The interruption occurred at 3:12 and 8 seconds a.m. The footage resumed at 3:12 and 19 seconds a.m. 11 seconds missing. The system log showed no error. No corruption. Just a gap. The investigators completed their report later that week. Their recommendation was simple. Stop monitoring the room. Deactivate the lock system. Leave the door sealed. The Ridgeway Grand followed that recommendation. Room 308's electronic lock was permanently disabled. The door was secured with a manual bolt. The room remained closed. No guests assigned. No staff entry allowed. The hallway camera was later repositioned to face the elevator instead of the room. Since that night, the electronic logs have recorded no further keycard entries. But the original data from August still exists on the security server. And every time it is reviewed, the pattern remains the same. 3:11 a.m. Unlock. Door opens. Door closes. No card issued. No person visible. And a room that should have remained empty. The Ridgeway Grand still operates today. Guests stay on the 3rd floor regularly. Room 307. Room 309.